Hello, my name is Ellen Schwartz, and I am the Director of Legal Resources for the Middlesex County Family Justice Center at Women Aware. This Law Series video project is co-sponsored by the New Jersey State Bar Foundation and made possible through funding from the IOLTA Fund of the Bar of New Jersey. In this video, we are sharing information about restraining orders. We will discuss civil consent orders and other aspects of domestic violence restraining orders in Part 2 of this presentation. What is a civil consent order? A civil consent order is a written agreement that a legal advocate can assist you in preparing. This agreement is written and must be agreed to and signed by both parties, and in most cases it will be signed by a judge and entered as a court order. Depending on what you and the other party agree to, a civil consent order can set out terms for custody, parenting time, payment of expenses, exchange of personal property, and numerous other things. The most important part of the civil consent order will be an agreement that the abuser is to have no contact with you whatsoever. This means the abuser will not be able to call you, text you, email you, or show up at your home or your work. In exchange for that agreement, you will be required to dismiss your temporary restraining order, which is a process explained above. There is an exception. If you and the abuser have children in common, the civil consent order will usually contain language that allows you to communicate through text or one of the messaging apps. This contact is normally limited to issues regarding the health, safety, welfare, education, and well-being of the children. It is not intended to give an abuser permission or an opportunity to threaten or harass you. The difference between the two types of orders, an FRO, final restraining order, and a civil consent order, is in the enforcement. If the abuser violates the FRO, he or she can be charged with a crime. The police should be notified, and the abuser will be arrested and charged with a criminal violation. There will be another court hearing, and fines and other penalties may be imposed. If he or she violates a civil consent order, you will have to file another application with the court and ask that punishment be imposed. It is not automatic. What do I do after I receive an FRO? Your case is concluded as far as the courts are concerned, but the Family Justice Center is still available to provide services for you. We work with more than a dozen other agencies to provide a wide range of services: legal, medical, counseling, housing, and immigration are among them. Our partners can provide assistance with resume writing, job preparation, and even clothing for job interviews. We work closely with the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office and specifically the victim witness advocates who can assist you if your matter involves criminal charges against the abuser. Remember, New Jersey law mandates that all firearms owned by the abuser must be seized, and the abuser must forfeit his or her firearms identification card and the right to purchase additional firearms. The weapons that are seized will be held by the prosecutor. What happens to the abuser after the trial? If the abuser is found guilty of domestic violence, he or she will be photographed and fingerprinted. The abuser's name will be entered into a domestic violence registry, identifying him or her as a domestic abuser. The abuser will be ordered to pay a fine to the Victims of Crime Compensation Board, which can range up to $500. What if the abuser violates the FRO? If the abuser violates the FRO, you should notify the police as soon as possible and file a complaint with the court. There is a judge whose responsibility it is to handle violation hearings. You will be expected to come to court and testify about what happened. When you report a violation, provide the police with as much information as you can. For example, where the abuser is currently living, the make and model of the car the abuser is driving, copies of text messages or social media posts, copies of video footage from Ring cameras or other security systems, etc. If the abuser approaches you, comes to your home or your work, or follows you, get to a safe place before calling the police. Make certain that you attend to your own safety and the safety of your children. If the abuser demonstrates this or other dangerous conduct, lock all doors and windows every day. Change the locks to your home if you can. Block social media accessibility for the abuser. Install a security system if you are able. Keep your cell phone with you and fully charged at all times. Vary the path that you drive to and from work or school each day. If you find yourself being followed, drive immediately to your local police station and report what is happening, especially if you recognize the abuser's vehicle. See the above recommendations regarding a go bag if you need to relocate quickly. What about criminal charges? In some cases, there will be one or more criminal charges filed against the abuser by the police. The criminal process operates independently of the restraining order process. You have no say as to whether or not criminal charges are filed or what charges are filed. The criminal charges will be investigated and prosecuted, if appropriate, by the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office. You will not be required to do anything. The investigator may ask you for a statement or may request documents or information in order to assist in the investigation and possible prosecution of the case. Victims are encouraged to cooperate with the prosecutor's office, although they are not required to do so. Victims do not have to testify in a criminal hearing if they choose not to. If the abuser is incarcerated as a result of the police arresting and charging him, the Victim Witness Division of the prosecutor's office can provide updates and information to a victim as the matter proceeds. That concludes our presentation, parts 1 and 2, on domestic violence restraining orders. We hope that this has been informative and useful information. Thank you for joining us today.